Welcome back to the SunaStats podcast. Ivory Coast versus Ecuador, and what a game that was. When an African team walks onto the World Cup stage, they're carrying more than just a flag. Whether it's Senegal, Ghana or Ivory Coast, they carry the dreams of an entire continent. Africa celebrates together, suffers together and believes together, and this Ivory Coast team looks different. They are organized, disciplined and tactically intelligent. They know when to keep possession, when to attack and when to defend. Gone are the days when African teams were judged only by their athleticism. This generation combines physicality with football intelligence, and that's what makes him so dangerous. But make no mistake, this was not an easy victory. For the opening 30 minutes, Ecuador were outstanding. They played without fear, pressed aggressively and looked the more dangerous side. John Yeboah rattled the crossbar with a brilliant curling effort after capitalizing on a defensive mistake, and just minutes later Alan Mendes struck the woodwork again after being played through by Pedro Vite. Ecuador could easily have been 2 goals ahead. At that point, Ivory Coast were hanging on, but what impressed me most was their resilience. They didn't panic, they absorbed the pressure, stayed compact and slowly grew into the game. That's the sign of a mature team. In previous tournaments, some African sides might have lost their shape after such a difficult start. This Ivory Coast team remained patient. And then there was Yan Diomande. What a player, explosive, fearless, electric every time he touched the ball. His acceleration leaves defenders chasing shadows, his dribbling creates chaos, and his creativity opens opportunities where none seem to exist. Every time he received the ball, you felt something was about to happen. His final ball wasn't always perfect, but his influence on the game was undeniable. He stretched Ecuador's defense and constantly forced them backwards. The second half belonged more and more to Ivory Coast. Eliwahi hit the crossbar, the pressure started building and Ecuador began to lose the control they had enjoyed early on. Then came the turning point. Imers Faye sent on Amad Diallo and Ange Boni. Fresh legs, fresh energy, fresh belief, and in the 90th minute the moment arrived. Wilfried Singo produced an incredible lung-busting run down the right wing. He drove into space, lifted his head and delivered the perfect square pass into the box. Waiting there was Amad Diallo. Calm, composed, clinical. One touch, one finish, one goal. The Manchester United winger side-footed the ball beyond Henan Galindez and sent the Ivory Coast bench, players and supporters into absolute delirium. That is what the World Cup is all about. 90 minutes of tension, one moment of brilliance, one player becoming a hero. For Ecuador, it is a heartbreaking defeat. Their 19-match unbeaten run comes to an end despite a performance that deserved more. They were excellent for large periods and can take confidence into their next matches, but tonight belongs to Ivory Coast. The 2023 African champions have announced themselves on the biggest stage. They showed resilience, patience, quality, and perhaps most importantly, belief. And if players like Yan Diomande continue to perform at this level, and if Amad Diallo keeps delivering in the big moments, this could be a team capable of making a very deep run in this World Cup. Africa will be watching. Africa will be believing. And after this performance, the rest of the world should be paying attention too. I've been SunaStats, and this has been the SunaStats podcast. See you in the next one.